What is up, my Lorcana Goons, and welcome back to the Lorcana Goons channel. You're watching the Quest with a Guest podcast where Zach Stone and I sit down with a fellow Illumineer. This week, we're hanging out with Lore Gains, aka Alvin. How are you doing today, Alvin, as we prepare for Continentals, which is just about 1 month away?
What is up, guys? First of all, shout out to you guys for setting this up, getting us on this awesome podcast thing that we got going on. I love it. I love your guys' content. Been following you guys since you started. I'm also a creator, Lore Gains. If you guys haven't heard, but yes, we are continental ready, guys. We are nationals ready.
Being on the bubble is crazy because you have to kind of like win or go home mentality. Like you're playing on the back foot. And in Lorcana, it's very interesting because you have the 2 game format instead of a best of 3, but the LCQ is different here, right? So having the best of 3 is going to kind of it's going to be what I've been asking for. So I gotta man up, just play the game. It's going to be the hardest Illumineer quest of my life for right now.
Yeah, so the last chance qualifier, for those who don't know, basically, if you did not get a if you not get a invite by obtaining it in the DLC main event, there is a event on Friday, the day before, which basically lets players duke it out. You have to play a 5 round tournament and go 5-0 in a best of 3 to secure an invite to the ball, pun intended, an invite to the Continental tournament the next day.
Right.
And it's a best of 3 tournament. This is something that a lot of players for sure want to see in the Lorcana scene because we're playing a 2 game format for the main event, and we play 2 game format for every DLC up until Top Cut. Personally, like I understand the 3 game for the best of 3 for Friday because it's a shorter day. When it's like a huge event, like I'm more partial to the 2 game format only because of the time. Like literally, I like the idea of getting out of the day after the tournament like at a reasonable time. Like I don't like staying till like midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. for a tournament to finish because everybody's playing best of 3, everybody's going into time. That's always irked me about card games, and I've always felt that like unfortunately like the time in the match is part of the game itself. One of my pet peeves is when I go to locals and there's like a big tournament, right, like a case tournament, and then you get to like top 8 and they turn off the clock. And I'm just like, why? Like, well, and I know, I get a lot of hate for this too, for this opinion, but it always bugs me because
How
I'm like,
dare you?
yeah, no, it bugs me because I'm like, I don't want to, be here for 80 minutes playing one best of 3. Like, I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
I don't think you deserve to have all the time in the world. Like, I think we should be pressured on time. I feel like that's also what makes a good player is knowing how to end the game within a reasonable time. Because sitting there,
Yeah.
I get frustrated. I don't know. I get ADD. I don't know what it is. I just can't like sit there waiting for someone to make a move for like way too long. I don't think it takes so long either, which is good. But I don't know. How do you guys feel about the best of 2, best of 3 situation?
I feel like Kevin. I feel like you're the type of guy that starts getting like the leg shakes.
Oh yeah,
You're like just like start looking around, bro. You're just like, when is this guy going to finish
yeah.
inking for his turn 1? No, but yeah, like everyone's entitled to their opinion, and your opinion I think is valid, bro. Like I am not a big fan of long tournaments, and it's draining. It's honestly draining, and I think the best of 2 format is good, especially in when you have like what? How many people participate? Is it 2,000? Like 2,000 in the bigger ULCs?
About, yeah.
Yeah, especially when you have 2,000 people playing, bro. Like you're gonna be drained, especially if you make day 2. You're gonna be so cooked just from waiting around, and also it does push players to play a little faster because there are not everyone's good. Not everyone's good hearted. Like there are people that drag the clock out, which is this is gonna like push those people out. Plus, best of 2. I think if you win a game in best of 2, that really comes down to a lot of skill. A little bit. There is luck involved in this game, but there's a lot of skill involved too. And when it comes to best of 3, I think it comes down a little bit more to the die roll, like going first. Oh my god, like going first is such a huge advantage. If you win the die roll, then it comes down to a bit of luck.
Yeah, like the die roll is I feel like, people that have to 2-0 in the 2 game format, have to win going second, have to win going first. And
Yeah,
nothing's really gonna take that away. If you are be able to go first, 2 games and win because of it, um it can happen that way. I think at the end of the day, we're also like having to play a wide field, and it's hard to really predict what your matchups are going to be. You know, I think every deck in this format kind of has its like it's rock, it's paper, and it's scissors. You know, and
Mhm.
every deck is going to want its favorable matchups. But I've lost to some of my favorable matchups before, and it can happen. Variance is
Yeah.
crazy, so I really think that it's going to just come down to like as of course skill. But like any other tournament, you know, you need a little bit of luck on your side. You might need people to make mistakes. You might need to win some dice rolls. You might need
Mhm.
to, you know, take greedy mulligans still as if it is a two-game format. Because if you get knocked out, you're out of the LCQ. And you
Yeah.
know, it's kind of like nerve-wracking for a lot of people. I know Kevin and I talk amongst ourselves, but we have a lot of people that open up to us and share about some of their, you know, anxieties and struggles in the game. And you know,
Mhm.
just to let everyone know, it's kind of like normal. This is a you know, difficult thing to overcome, and I honestly recommend taking everything at your own pace. You know, the amount of experience I've had playing card games really is what helped, but I
Mhm.
never had to have those similar struggles. So it's gonna be a good pod, and I'm hoping not to play any of my friends in my LCQ pod.
Yeah. Just slip him a 20, bro. We're good. Kidding. I'm
Heck,
kidding.
Don't ban us.
I'm
Don't
kidding,
ban
bro.
us. A joke. No, yeah. Yeah. But playing a friend in an LCQ would be really sad. Because yeah, it's a
Mhm.
single elimination basically, right? What's cool is that
Yeah.
Lorcana was gracious enough to hook people up with a free attendee badge, basically, if you get knocked out of the LCQ. And so
Mhm.
you can play the side events throughout the rest of the weekend. But yeah, man, I definitely think that the best of three format in the LCQ, being different than the two game format in the main event, is really interesting. I have friends who are saying, maybe I play a different deck for the LCQ, something really greedy, you know,
Mhm.
something like green purple or
Yeah.
something even hyper aggro, maybe red purple burn or something. And some people are saying maybe, and then for the two game format, you play a different deck, you know, trying to meta game the situation. Yeah, I like what you mentioned about the anxiety stuff, Zach. That's really important. It's so funny because I don't know if it's because we were gonna do this video today or if it's because I really just started thinking about it. But like I had like dreams of like the Continental tournament like last night. You know what I mean? Like and like nerves of like scrubbing out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a lot of it's
Dang, I know.
right?
Yeah.
You feel me? You feel me, Alvin?
Yeah.
It's a lot of pressure. Like
Yep.
it's a lot
Yep.
of pressure. Like I love this game. You know, I'm sure we all feel the same way. I love making
Mhm.
content. I love what I do, and vice versa. But I think at the end of the day, like competing means a lot to me. You know, and I've been
Yeah.
practicing. I've been putting in like energy and time and effort into like learning the meta, learning like
Mhm.
where I'm misplaying, like talking to different people about the game, and like obviously, like if I don't see results, if I don't win, if I don't go to Worlds, if I don't get top 32, blah blah blah, I'm gonna feel a type of way, you know. And I think that's perfectly valid to talk about right now because like a lot of people are gonna feel this way, not just in their first like Lorcana tournament, their last Lorcana tournament, but like LCQs, Continentals in the future. Like you have to lose. Like that's what's crazy is that like
Mhm.
out of we're gonna have maybe like almost 100 people in the main event, only 16 people get to play the next day and then only 8 of them go on to the next tournament. You know, it's such
Yeah.
a
That is wild.
yeah, it's such a prestigious
Like
like
the
thing.
statistics are
Yeah,
crazy. Yeah.
it's so it's a little like you know it's a little scary to think about. I can't help but get a little like oof, you know. But yeah, man, I'm just gonna practice as much as I can. I'm just using as many resources
Mhm.
as possible. You know, I'm watching streamers, I'm watching videos, I'm watching VODs of the Europe Continentals. The Europe Continentals was
Yeah.
super important too, guys, for the meta. Oh
Mhm.
my gosh. I'm a little like don't get me wrong, I love Ruby Amethyst. Shout out to Domingo for winning with Ruby Amethyst, but man, I'm a little mad that Ruby Amethyst won because the I felt like I was cooking. I felt like I was cooking in Ruby Am and
Yeah.
I was already on the 4 Genie. I was testing one Bell accomplished Mystic as Blurple because
Yeah.
I kept on playing against
Uh-huh.
purple players. I just kept beating me with it, and I was like, this card is broken right now, right? And
Insane. Yeah.
now I feel like Domingo leaked to the sauce, and I'm like, oh no, everybody's gonna play Emerald Steel at North American Continentals now. What do you guys think? What's the
Dang.
what do you guys think? What's the meta?
I think that's fair, bro. Do you feel like do you feel like them playing the Ruby Amethyst kind of puts you in a, oh, I have a lot of mirrors to look forward to, or a lot of
Anti-Ruby
green
Amethyst.
steel, green steel discard to look forward to. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little scary, right? Like it's a little scary.
It all
But you
depends on
know,
how
those
many
are.
red blue stands are out there, bro. I think the red blue
Oh
stands
man,
are heavy in the California
yeah,
area, and a lot of
for
our people
sure.
got in, so it's gonna be rough.
Yeah, I did a lot of red blue. You know what the funny thing is? I just picked up a red blue, like 2 days ago, and I was practicing with my buddy who I normally practice with, Spencer. I put it together. I've never played red blue in my life. I've never played red blue, and I'm a content creator. I'm like, shame. But I put it together. I'm like, what's this? What's this fuss all about? And I played it. I'm like, dude, this deck is crazy. This deck is so good.
Yeah.
You like see everything you need because of Hiram. Hiram's broken. You draw a bunch of cards and you can just win out of nowhere. And I played it with the Maui Shark. Dude, Shark is insane. He puts in a lot of work. You just start playing a bunch of
Yeah.
actions. You draw a bunch of cards. You look at your cards,
It,
top two, top five cards, and you're just burning as you go. And he is hard to remove too. He's a 7/5. Like
yeah.
unless you're running a Greatest Criminal Mind or you crab Elsa, he's really hard to deal with. So I get the whole red blue hype. It's a really powerful deck.
I think it's a really good deck. I have a lot of people who, in like our social circle, Jerry, shout out Jerry for example, like he's a One Piece god, I've been told, and he plays Lorcana a little bit too,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and he's just been telling me like you have to play red blue, like you have to master red blue, and because he
Mm-hmm.
plays other card games too. His mentality is in every other card game where you have a deck like red blue, a deck that is like hyper
Yeah.
control slash ramping into control, it's always the best deck. Right. I think red blue is kind of the best deck, but it's a hard deck to play in my opinion. Like, yeah, it's easy to go popsicle into Tipo into Flavor Sham. Anybody can do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's
Yeah.
hard to win going second against a green purple deck, especially when you don't draw your ideal situation, your ideal curve. That's the thing about Lorcana that I've noticed. Like Emerald Steel, like yeah, I'm afraid of Emerald Steel, for example, as a Ruby Amethyst enjoyer, but like if my opponent doesn't know how to win without Prince John, if they don't know how to win without Diablo, then I'm in a great position. Like I'm in an
Mm-hmm.
astonishingly ahead, like way ahead of you position if you can't beat me without your main strategy. And that's the thing about that. That's what matters, I think, in these like 7, 8, 9 round tournaments, even set champs where they're 5 round tournaments. Like you need to know how to win with the deck in multiple ways, not just the main strategy. But red blue is crazy because it has so many good strategies. You have the Maui Shark, you have the Lucky Dime, and then people are playing McDuck Manor in red blue now. Oh my, yeah. There's a lot of things you can do, to get to 20 in red blue. But yeah, Maui Shark is definitely a threat. I wouldn't be surprised if people start playing more Criminal Mind, because it pops the Maui Shark, pops the Pluto. Those are like
Mm-hmm.
really hefty cards. I wish I could play a
Yeah.
card like that in Ruby M because I don't like dealing with those cards. But yeah, in general though, I've seen people play like Dragonfire in Ruby M. We're seeing people play Tutremain 2 Medusa just to combat like the heavy hitters like that. Do you guys have any spicy
Mm-hmm.
tech cards in your decks that you're trying out? Do you guys know what you're playing for nationals? I mean, I'm an open book. Everyone, you guys know I'm playing Ruby. I'm probably.
Yeah. Go
Well,
ahead, Ted.
I'm trying different ideas right now. I'm gonna actually play something I kind of built against you later, Alvin. But
Yeah,
the decks
buddy.
that are the decks that are the decks that are on my mind are obviously Ember Steel.
Uh-huh.
It's comfortability when I lean towards that deck. And I do need to just kind of like master the red blue matchup because if I play against
Mm-hmm.
almost anything else, I know what my role is in that deck, but like I need to know I'm playing against red blue because when you're making mulligan decisions, they're completely different depending on what you're playing against with
It's
Amber
huge.
Steel,
Yeah.
and that's why it's like a hard deck to pick in more or less an LCQ because I kind of want to make sure that like I don't give up like the first game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, being able to mulligan correctly on the draw, you can still win a lot of games with Amber Steel, and I played it enough to know that is true. Um, the
Mm-hmm.
other decks that I'm kind of thinking about are also green purple. I have been playing a little bit of that on the side, and
Nice.
green steel as well. I think that deck is a sleeper. There are some different lines that I think the deck can take.
Mm-hmm.
And are there are a lot of people that I know are working on some lists, and I have played enough with them to know that like the green steel deck, it's gonna have its main core, but like a lot of the stuff is gonna change. And I kind of like the path that the green steel deck might take for the NA Continentals.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see where it goes.
Yeah. Have you? So, what do you think about? So, is it more like the green steel discard route, and like the green steel non-discard route, or are you like fully on the discard route?
Diablo and Prince John are still way too powerful.
Mm-hmm.
It's just about being able to kind of like fight the other steel decks, because like you can always beat red blue by just going the discard route, but like other steel decks, like you need to kind of combat those. So like it has other ways to like go around that now. From what I've been testing with and what I've been seeing.
Yeah, I've also seen the inclusion of Calhoun, which is broken, and the dock. I've seen that. That's the only variation that I've like big variation that I've seen, and of course like the Clarabelle route, like different shift targets. What are your thoughts on those kind of decks, like that don't go the discard route and go like the more like shift or even dwarf mine kind of thing?
For green steel,
So
I have an opinion.
Yeah,
I have a big opinion on this, and I've been shilling this card.
yeah,
I've been shilling this card since set 2. I'm a big fan of Chief Bogo. I think Chief Bogo is broken.
yeah,
Like I think Chief
yeah.
Bogo is a really good card, honestly. And like, hear me out. Hear me out. Chief Bogo is really good, and Zeus is really good this format. And if you play Green Steel, if you play Zeus and Green Steel, you can sing it with Muses, and you can sing it with Chief Bogo. Just saying, Diablo's a Floodborn.
Yeah.
Every time you play the Diablo, boom, a Tinkerbell burst damage. AoEs are powerful. Like they're just like Be Prepared and Grab Your Swords are still realistically and Under the Sea. Those are realistically the only 3 like AoE like action cards. You know what I mean? And like the fact that Tinkerbell does it is really strong, and the fact that Chief Bogo can do it, I think is really strong. He quests for 2, he's a 2/4, so his stats are really good. I think
Yeah.
I saw some green steel lists and I put it on the channel and I was really like, this is kind of cool. Like maybe you do, because he was playing a lot of Floodborns, but maybe you just keep it very simple. You play Diablos, you play some beasts and stuff like that, and you play the discard engine too. Tinkerbell, very good. I don't know that, but I think there's for sure some valid arguments in playing that, especially when you're dealing with like opposing ward characters.
Yeah,
play
I think
pack
the
tactics
BOGO.
too and cheese them.
Yeah, I think the BOGO is pretty sick. I mean, you drop a BOGO, you play a Floodborn, and then you just cook their cursed merfolks. I mean, that's not bad at all. Also, you can ping for an extra 2 damage with the storm and take out a lot of characters are 3 willpower. And I think BOGO is kind of hard to remove unless you're playing red. Unless you're playing against red, the BOGO is going to stick on the board. But if you're playing against red, then you have a different game plan for sure, right? Like if you're up against say an Ember Steel or a green purple, BOGO is going to stick for the most part, and then you just drop your Floodborns and just keep cooking their board. So I think that's pretty sick, dude. I like the sauce.
Yeah, I'm thinking if they brawl my Bogo, that means my Diablo is gonna survive, right? Or if they have
Yeah.
to brawl Diablo,
You have to choose something. You have to choose something. Yeah,
yeah.
it's
So I'm
usually going
like,
to be Diablo. Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. But I don't know. I think there's enough.
I've seen some cheese too, bro. I've seen some people try to go like
Jeez.
Prince John, Iago into turn 5, bend to my will.
Well, and
That's
Emerald
mega cheese,
and
bro.
Emerald
That's
Steel,
fondue right there.
fondue.
No, I mean, yeah, dude. You're basically just kind of cheesing out that action.
Monterey Jack.
Non-outrageous.
Okay, the character.
Yeah. So I'm curious to really know what people are going to risk it. Like if you go a really greedy strategy in the LCQ, and I think a big part of this game has been the ability to like kind of catch people off guard. We've seen it at the first DLC with Josh that peanut butter and jelly Mufasa deck. No one knew how to play it against it. No one knew what he was trying to do.
Exactly,
bro. We saw him take the win.
I'd like to think that I knew what he was doing. I just like he just did it way better than what I could have stopped him because
I think it was Mufasa.
Wait, did you play
Mufasa?
yeah,
Right?
I played him in top 16. Yeah,
No
yeah.
way.
Yeah, game one, I felt like I was in it, bro. Like I was like Teeth, because I was like, the only Ruby I'm playing Teeth and Ambition, so I was like Teeth and Ambition's your Piglet, bada boom, do this, and then like he plays Mufasa on turn 5. I play Medusa after his Mufasa to pop his Mufasa, and you as a Mufasa player, you appreciate this, Alvin. After Mufasa, he reveals a second Mufasa. A second Mufasa comes out, yeah, and I was like, no way, and that's when I knew. That's when I knew it wasn't my day because I just couldn't win. Like it was really close. It honestly felt like like neck and neck at that point. It's just he got to 20 and I was like at 15 stabilizing, and I'm like, man, one more turn that Mufasa, right? And then game two, he just 2-0'd me. I think game two I was a little tilted. There was probably some mulligan decisions I could have done differently, maybe some different game plans I could have taken. So yeah, I will admit that I got out meted and outplayed by Josh. But speaking of surprise decks, Alan, I'd like to think that you made it to top 16 with like an anti-meta deck. You know, a deck that people weren't really expecting, a deck people don't know how to play against for the most part. It was Amber Steel Mufasa. Are you considering that for this new format? Where do you think that deck lands right now?
I'm considering 2 decks for this format. Two fun decks. I usually go off meta for the most part, and I think Mufasa was pretty off meta going into Seattle DLC. I really like where the deck is at. I just don't. I don't have too much confidence in it. So DLC Seattle, I went in and I was going to choose one of 2 decks: Amber Steel Songs or Amber Steel Mufasa. I had them both sleeved up. I had them both ready to lock in the night before the DLC Seattle. And I was like, I don't want to deal with it. I'm just going to go Mufasa. I'm just going to lock it in. Mufasa's more fun. Mufasa's a fun deck. That's what I went with. I went with fun, what I'm going to enjoy. And I ended up getting, I made it. Like I made it to top 16. So I got good matchups. I did get lucky in some of the games. And also I just felt like I was having a good time. I was having a good time. So there wasn't a lot of, when you play for a really long time where you have to like think about your plays so much during the DLC that your brain just gets fried. Yeah, like towards the end of the DLC, your brain's just cooked and you can't, like you misplay, you start to misplay. That didn't really happen with Mufasa. I think it's because it's a tempo deck. So it's a little easier than thinking about how in a whole new world, thinking about your songs. Should you not whole new world? The lines are a little more complicated, a little more complex with Amber Steel Songs. So I feel like how linear Amber Steel Mufasa is, I feel like it's less of a it's less to think about. And I think in the meta, it does have a good chance. It just tends to struggle against, say, a red blue. If you're up against the red blue, they out resource you. It's gonna happen. You're not gonna win. But if you go the aggro route, you have a good chance. You drop a Mufasa on turn 5 when they're going to B prep you or they're going to clear your board. You do have a good fighting chance. And I feel like it has a better fighting chance than Amber Steel Songs does. But yeah, I haven't had too much practice with it. We'll see how the testing goes.
Nice. I do think,
Definitely.
I think anti-meta is a great strategy, or so off meta, something people aren't expecting. A bunch of possibilities you can play right now. All the Amethyst Steel decks are looking kind of scary. There's like 3 different Amethyst Steel decks you can play.
Yeah.
But out of like all, I think the decks that I'm like most like worried about to like play against on a regular basis is that green purple deck, dude. The Emerald Amethyst. Yeah, it's man, opening up like Merfolk Bonsai or like things like that. Like it's kind of mean. And
Frustrating.
yeah, it's
Enemy.
frustrating. And I've also learned recently, like this week, like how to. I mean, I've always kind of felt like knowing how to play around these cards, but like I've been really prioritizing playing around Go-Go Tamago, Super Goof, and Rapunzel. And Rapunzel's always been in the Medicine Chapter 1, so I've always known that. But I remember, but just recently I was playing a match and I lost the game 3 because of a decision to quest with this character instead of this character because Go-Go Tamago is a card. And I was like, wow, like I literally just now have to add the Rapunzel logic to Emerald and to Ruby because a lot of people are playing Go-Go and Super Goof now. So for advice for anybody who's been playing, when you play against Amber, Ruby, and Emerald, they all have Rapunzel type effects that are different, but like they will help them get to 20. Specifically, Goofy and some Go-Go Tamago let them burst lore, which is actually even worse for you to misplay under, because that will literally cost you the game. Like sometimes Rapunzel won't cost you the game, because your opponent can draw maybe only 2-3 cards, but still not get you there. But if you misplay off of a Go-Go or a Super Goof, that's 2 lore at least with Super Goof, and then Go-Go is potentially who knows how much, like potentially infinite because of the way it's worded.
I know.
There's little things like that.
It just adds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just adds to the cards that you need to play around. It hasn't registered for me yet. Like Go Tomorrow still hasn't registered for me yet. I do. It catches me off by surprise. for sure. Like I've been playing I play on Pixelborn, like I play on other online platforms where you can you can play Lorcana,
Fight
and
Club, Fight Club,
I
Fight Club.
still Fight Club, and it's still like it doesn't. I still my brain doesn't think, oh, go to Mago's a card, play around it. Like it's just so new, and I haven't been exposed to it too much. So I think that's another factor. Like I need to play test against. I need to play test against green purple. Like that's the one of the decks. Like nobody really in my locals has it except for Lorcana Duel, and he's been sick, so he hasn't showed up. You know Patrick, right?
Yeah, he's really clean with that deck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of
yeah,
course.
he clean with that
Oh,
deck.
dude, he's awesome. He's such a good player, and I haven't seen him because he's been sick. And yesterday I
There's something
missed.
going around, dude. I swear. Like so many
Yeah.
people I know are getting sick. Like my girlfriend's coming
Mm-hmm.
with a cold. Like other people in our house are getting sick. There was an event I was at for a different card game this past weekend, so it might have something to do with that. There was some traveling going on, but
What
uh,
card game, Zach?
the Yu-Gi-Oh trading card game. The
Oh,
lovely Yu-Gi-Oh trading
Yu-Gi-Oh.
card game.
Okay.
Yeah,
Boo.
I was there just hanging out on
Boo.
Saturday. Yeah.
Did you play Yu-Gi-Oh at all,
So
Alvin? Did you ever play Yu-Gi-Oh? Are you a duelist in your?
I played for a little bit, but
Okay.
it didn't last. It didn't last very long.
so something I did though, so I know the Continentals is actually going to be held at like the Disneyland Hotel, and I kind of walked through it to show one of my friends that it was in town. Like he wanted to check everything out, tourist stuff and all. And the place is huge. It's going to be able to host a lot of people, and I'm kind of excited too. I'm trying to go to Disney that Thursday of that week. I really want to go. So what's it called? The place is going to be awesome. I think that whole week is going to be fun, exciting. I want to do stuff the whole week. I want to know if people are coming into town. So I'm gonna try to make a lot of plans. Try to
Mm.
really see who's all about the Disney experience.
Yeah, man. Sweet.
Are you gonna get
Wait, what
like?
was
Are you
the?
gonna try and get a hotel or something, Alvin? Or are you just gonna drive back and forth?
Oh, bro, we're going all out. We got an
Okay.
Airbnb. We
Oh,
got an Airbnb, 5 beds or 5 rooms with. We have like what? We're a couple. And there's another couple that's going. There's another couple and 2 other single people that are going. So we have a full house, bro. We're gonna get an Airbnb
That's
over there
dope,
by the location, so we can play test, just hang out. It's gonna be fun, man. What are you guys doing?
dude. I
nice.
live 20 minutes away, bro. Literally.
Must be nice. Must be
I'm
nice.
getting dropped off. I'm figuring that out. Someone's scooping me up. I don't care.
Wow.
Dang.
Yeah, I'll probably just drive back and forth. It's about 35 minutes
Yeah.
away, and if we're gonna be there in the
Okay.
morning, so nothing too crazy. Like I'm in like
Yeah.
South LA, Long Beach
Where do you
area.
guys live?
I
Okay.
yeah,
Where do you live, Zach?
I'm in Southgate specifically, so I'm not like too far from you
Oh,
uh,
either.
Southgate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buena Park, Cypress. So like I'm on the edge if you're kind of familiar with that area. And I'm
Like
literally
Eastie
just down
area,
the
East.
street.
Yeah.
No, more west actually, but it's like I'm right near like the 405. So it's not that
Oh,
bad.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
Dang,
just
that's crazy. That's
it's
pretty
literally
good.
one street down. I probably could take a
Uh,
bus there if I look into it, but
yeah.
yeah, it's kind of convenient, and that's nice, but that's what happens, we live in a big city, and there will be
Hmm.
events here, so we get that little bit of a bonus, and then we travel to where they are at, we go to other cities, we do the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Anaheim's like an hour. Well, we're gonna go Thursday. We're gonna go Thursday because a bunch of our buddies are doing the LCQ. So we're gonna go Thursday, check in, but there's traffic. There's so much traffic, so we're not gonna even put up with that. So that's why we went the Airbnb route. Because from here to Disney, say if we wanted to leave Friday early morning, like I don't know what time it starts. Do you guys know what time LCQ starts?
Like 8 a.m.
8 a.m. Okay,
Oof.
so we wouldn't get any traffic, but
Yeah,
still,
no,
like
well, you would probably, I don't know how far you are. I think you're in West LA,
yeah,
right?
North, like he's in like
yeah,
North
West
Hollywood,
LA.
right? Like kind of like North Hollywood more.
I'm even more west. Do you know where Calabasas is?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Oh
don't live
gosh.
there, but it's close to me.
Okay, like yeah,
Sure, sure, sure.
I drive
Yeah.
around the San Fernando Valley a lot for work.
Mm,
So
mm.
I do know little cities over there. I like the area. It's
Carbs?
cool.
for
What's that?
cards work? Or
No, my
for your
other,
cards?
yeah, no, my other job.
Wait,
The
you don't live off of cards, bro?
no, no. You know what's crazy?
Soon,
Yeah, soon. Oh, what's
soon.
cool is that like
Yeah.
I've been trying to do
Yeah.
the full-time card thing
Hmm.
since I want to say after the pandemic, like 2021, was when I really like tried getting back into Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff. You could ask Zach. He was really
Yeah.
Zach is a blessing, you know. Thank God for Zach, I like to say. But
Oh,
Thank God for Zach.
Zach was able, yeah, Zach's inspiring, bro. Zach was able to pull himself, you know, up from the bottom and really make a life out
Hmm.
of card games, and he's shown me how to do it
Yeah.
too. And in the last like obviously before Lorcana I was trying to do
Burgeoning.
this, but when Lorcana came out, it really just took off for both of us too. Because I was telling Zach like, you got to get into this game, dude. You know,
Oh yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I have another job that I do. It's like sales stuff and like brand ambassador work for a company. And like in this
Hmm.
last year, I've been able to turn. I was doing that full time and this part time, but now
Hmm.
I like to say now I do Lorcana full time and that part time. Just because if I'm not
Yeah.
making content, I'm either listing cards on TCG Player or I'm vending now on the weekends. So yeah, it's I'm
Hustler,
juggling both.
bro.
Yeah, I'm juggling both. It's
You're
kind of
a
in California.
hustler,
I'm sure
just
you
like
know.
Zach.
I'm sure you know how it
Yeah.
is, Alvin. In California, you just have to do stuff. Like you have to just do a bunch of different things to survive out here. It's so expensive. It's so expensive. But I not only do I
It
got to pay
is,
rent, but
bro.
I want to
Yeah.
play card games. You know, so like
And
dude, it's
plus
rough.
relationship,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Dude, yes,
gotta get
we all
married.
are on the same boats here, guys. It's
We're on the
crazy.
same
It is
boat. Yeah, for real, man.
crazy.
I feel
Then
you,
we got to teach
man.
our partners how to play the game. That's even more money. That's more cards.
Right.
Dude,
Try to
I
get
do
him
want to shout out
interested,
my
bro.
girlfriend.
Try to get him
She
interested.
helps me vend, and
Yeah.
I'm impressed with how much she's able to like, you know, she's looking up stuff. She knows how to find the Lorcana cards, and she's even helping
Uh,
me out with like some Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. You know, like that one's a lot more complicated.
dang.
Dude, if
Yeah.
you're looking up Yu-Gi-Oh cards now, ever since there's like there's something called the Rarity Collection. I don't know if you know about this at all, Alvin, but they basically reprinted a bunch of
A
cards,
little bit.
and each of
Hmm.
these sets come with 7 different rarities. All you can
Hmm.
pull these cards in 7 different rarities, right?
That's
And
wild.
it basically messed up the whole listing. So now there's like
Hmm.
parentheses of like a card, but like 7 different parentheses because of it comes in 7 different rarities.
Because of the
Sometimes
different
even more.
rarities.
Yeah,
Man,
and
that's
you really have to know
complicated,
your
dude.
stuff in Yu-Gi-Oh. It's
Yeah.
a blessing that Lorcana is like a new game, but it's like easier to like understand the card pool, and it's pretty simple,
Hmm.
you know. Like it doesn't get too crazy. Like, granted, Yu-Gi-Oh walked so Lorcana can run, and it is like a 20-year-old game, so there's just a
Put
lot
that
of
on a
cards in
shirt.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like that. Wait, say it again.
what
You
Yu-Gi-Oh,
said
Yu-Gi-Oh
Yu-Gi-Oh.
walked so Lorcana can run.
Exactly, bro. Get that on a shirt, bro. Goons. Right up top.
Dude,
No,
yeah,
you
that
dude,
no,
you want to know
it's
something?
simple.
Yeah, do you want to know something funny? Well, not funny, but
Hmm.
you probably get this a lot. But Frankenstein's super long time ago when it first came out, you know, when everyone was like beating everyone up for cards. Um, I went I heard about Frankenstein's. Somebody told me about Frankenstein's, but they would go for Yu-Gi-Oh. They're like, yeah, they might have some Lorcana stuff because I didn't have any Lorcana stuff, but I wanted to play the game. We had like a starter deck that me and my buddy started with, but I was like, cool, let me go buy some cards. So I went with I went with my wife. My wife went. We went to go visit our my sister in law, and we stopped by shamelessly to pick up some cards. And we were just looking around. We're looking around, and we found your little setup, Zach, in the corner, you know, the little
Hmm.
corner place. And we picked up some cards, and I sold some cards too. And you're really cool. And you're like, yeah, you know, if you're into Lorcana, you should check out our YouTube channel, Lorcana Goons. I was like, okay, cool. Let me write that
Always
down. Let
trying
me
to
write that
shill it.
down.
I'm always trying to shill it.
I was like, let me write that down on my phone. So I like wrote it down, and I didn't know what like I didn't know I didn't see any YouTube videos on Lorcana or anything because I was like new to the game. So and then I forgot about it and I forgot to add it. And then one day it, like popped up. I said, "Wait, is this the channel he told me about?" And my wife's like, "Yeah, it's you put it in your phone." I was like, "Oh shoot, I did." And I checked, and it was Lorcana Goons. So I started following you guys ever since then, and I love the content. So big shout out to you guys for all the content you put out for us to enjoy. You know, we look up to those Monday and Friday posts, Lorcana Market Watch.
Heck yeah, man! Thanks for that, and then thanks for Zach for always letting people know. I love that. I like to see that, especially. I like to hear those stories too.
MVP.
Yeah, man. Especially because you say you just started playing the game, and we're already telling you, hey, check out this game even more, get you more into it. Was this your first trading?
Yeah.
Was this your first TCG like this, Alvin, or did you play like anything else to this extent?
No, I started Yu-Gi-Oh. I started Yu-Gi-Oh when I was when it first came out. When I started deck Kaiba, started deck Yugi, and after that, it was actually in Mexico. It was when I used to live in Mexico. I picked up the card games, and we're like, "Oh, these cards are in English." I knew some English, so I would translate the cards to my friends in school. So I would translate the cards. They're
Wow.
like, "Alvin, like, if I play this, what happens?" I'm reading it. I'm like, oh, this happens. They're like, all right, cool. Raigekki's broken. and then
Yeah.
They're like todos. They're like, what the heck?
like, todos? Like, yeah, exactly, man. And
Oh
and
man.
then and then I moved here 2 years later, and then I never played it until I met my buddy Spencer in school. He was also a kinesiology major, exercise science major, and we're like, "Oh, you lift? Wait, you play cards too?" So we started like hanging out here and there, like once a week, just to play some Yu-Gi-Oh. But it was always casual, bro. Like I played Yu-Gi-Oh for a little bit, and then I picked up One Piece also for a little bit, then Dragon Ball for a bit. But I was never really invested, like I am with Lorcana. Lorcana just swept me off my feet, bro, and it's been good. It's been good. I love Lorcana. It's a different community for sure. Like I've been to like little tournaments, little local tournaments for Yu-Gi-Oh, and the environment's so different from the Lorcana environment. I know you can. I don't know if you guys can vouch for that or have a similar
Oh
experience.
yeah, I can definitely vouch for it. I can definitely even add to the
Yeah,
experience and talk about how unfun the Yu-Gi-Oh community is. But I'm not going to do that because I want to keep this light and I want to keep it. I want to keep the good
yeah.
energy going, keep the good vibes going. But what I do want to
Kevin, I
do.
Cheers to
still
that, man.
remember. I remember when we went to the locals for like the first time to play like Lorcana, and we had to
Mm,
drive like almost an hour because there was a little bit of traffic on the way. But yeah,
yeah.
it was like it was like a mainly magic store that was just picking up Lorcana,
Uh
and
huh.
they were like, we allow proxies, and Kevin and I think had our cards. Like we actually had
Yeah,
our whole
Yeah.
complete decks.
yeah,
I might have had almost everything
some
foil at the
beans.
time. I still remember like some of
It's
these
just
prices
max
from the
rarity,
first
bro.
chapter
Yeah.
days. Dude,
Yeah.
yeah, it was like, I wanted to do that, right? But I'd go and I saw a lot of different people, and it was a different experience because, like, yeah, when you go to Yu-Gi-Oh locals, and not even trying to talk about my personal experiences, when you go there, even as just an average player, there's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
like click activity, I would say. Like a lot of people know each other, and everyone's kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
keeping things to themselves, and it kind of feels like, I wouldn't say not a safe space because I think it is a safe space, but I think it
Yeah.
kind of creates like this vibe where like you don't feel like it's you're able to like make friends. Like I implore people to kind of reach out, but the Yu-Gi-Oh community I think failed some individuals there, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But the game itself, I still think it's like, it's still active. There are still people that play the game. We saw like 1,400 people at this event this past weekend. So there's definitely people that is still interested in it, but the Lorcana community is definitely a different whole experience for sure.
Yeah.
And Kevin and I have like really enjoyed 95% of our experiences. And honestly, like you will run across
Uh,
some people that aren't the kindest or are just having their bad days. But try not to take it personal because everyone's just trying to get by. It's everyone's first time experiencing life, so gotta go with the
mm.
flow.
There you go. Well said. Very well said. Hey, Kevin, what's back there?
Oh, my dog
You
is
glowing?
yeah. No, my dog is like asking. My dog wants attention, so I'm just like,
I'm
okay,
like, bro.
like come here.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah,
I'm so grateful my
You're like,
cat's being good right now. Usually he's spazzing, so like Kevin have seen me like, go off camera to like take care of him.
like I can hear him
yeah.
just like he wants me to go over there and pet him or go to the living room and pet him.
You know, you know,
I don't want to I don't want to kick him out
You
though. I
gotta
feel
get a
so bad.
cat, Kevin. They just want to be
yeah.
by themselves
Get
sometimes.
a
They don't need
cat. Yeah.
attention.
Until they jump on your keyboard.
All right, right.
You're like,
This little guy's so
I
needy.
see
I
that
love
Dude,
so
it
many
though.
times, bro. Just like cat on the keyboard. No, Pixelborn and Connect. Pixelborn and Connect. You're like playing someone. Matt looks great, and all of a sudden you see a cat's butt, just right underneath the camera, dude. And then like stepping on the keyboard, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, that's Muffles. He likes to be involved." I'm like, oh, "Okay, cool."
yeah. I know he's my coach actually.
Yeah.
He's telling me what to do.
Coach
My cat has
Muffles.
jumped on this TV here, and like
Yeah.
it's crazy because he jumps from the PlayStation to the TV. I don't know how he does it, but he's like a dang acrobat.
Yeah, cats,
Going
man.
from everywhere. Dude, how's the
Low
Pixelborn
maintenance.
Connect? How's the Pixelborn Connect meta? You're on it a lot, and I can't really tell like how many people are actually like playing that one with like the best decks all the time. You know,
Mhm.
how is it?
Yeah, you know, people run around with some spice. So there's still people that play the spice. Meta, it's not really heavy on the meta. I think I think people go on there because they're more casual or they just like to have fun. But sometimes I do run into like the occasional I'm blanking out his name, Luke Wonderland, into the occasional
Ah,
Wonderland or Earlmeister or someone that's prepping for a big event. So you do run into some like meta decks, but it's not too often. And then you know me always playing with my random shenanigan decks, so I contribute to that as well. But I love it. I love interacting with people. I think that's my favorite part of card games: interacting with people. You know, you have a little chat. Um, they tell you what they're playing. Sometimes after the game, I'm like, Can we do a quick like deck profile?" And they're like, "Yeah, for sure." And then just go over what cards they're playing.
that's
Like if it's
cool.
something interesting, you know, and especially if I'm on live stream, people love seeing what everybody else is cooking up. So yeah, that's my take on Pixelborn Connect.
There's a world where you'll get some ideas from these decks. You know, you play against
Hmm.
somebody's strategy. Like maybe they don't have it down exactly right, but like you can take a
Yeah.
piece from it and go from there. You know,
Oh, for
um,
sure. Yeah.
yeah, this would be a great time to actually like see what ideas we've been brewing up. I'm down to get a game in, Alvin, whenever you're ready.
Oh snap! We're gonna see what Zach's been cooking.
All right, so we have Alvin on the left side of Lore Gaines and Zach Stone on the right side representing Team Goons. They're going to play it out. I don't know what either player is using, to be honest, so we'll see. I feel like Alvin might be playing Blurple. I've been seeing him use Blue Purple on his streams not that long ago. He has those iconic Batman sleeves. I do believe he kept only one card in his mulligan. Zach's going to start off the turn. He's going to ink. Ink, I'm still here. And he's going to pass turn. Ink pass. That's Zach does get to go first, but ink pass.
You got another card to see.
Alvin's gonna ink pass as well. Pro plays. Pro plays by these great players. So Alvin playing a purple deck, Zach playing a steel deck. We'll see what the other colors are. I'm thinking Zach's playing amber steel, because that's what I'm still here is usually found in, right? Another I'm still here gets inked by Zach. Ooh. And a Seven Dwarves Mine on turn 2 by Zach Stone. This is a 2-cost inkable location. Gives you 1 lure every turn. Lets you deal a damage if you move a character there, and 2 damage if you move a knight there. Alvin inks a snake. Ink snake pass from Alvin. Zach gains 1 lore. Zach is at 1 lore. Oh, Emerald Steel with so a Prince John. A Prince John comes down. Prince John comes down. And we're talking about Dwarves Mine in Emerald Steel. Alvin asked if we thought. So Alvin's gonna ink friends, and on turn 3, play a crab. All right. Zach gains 1 more lore, putting him at 2. Alvin having a slow start. Crab is his first character. Technically his first card on the board. Zach is gonna play Hypnotize for 3. That lets you discard a card from the opponent's hand. And since Prince John is on board, Zach does get to draw 2. A Genie gets discarded by Alvin. Zach with some spice. Emerald Steel with Dwarves Mine. I like it. Deal some extra damage there. Alvin has 5 cards in hand. Zach's looking like he has 4 to 5 cards in hand. Alvin, I agree with Alvin. Mine is very interesting in this deck. Ooh, ink another Dwarves Mine. Alvin making some good points. There's no Dwarves on board to make that Dwarves Mine really good. No Knights. You need a Knight character. And most of the Dwarves are Knights that you can use, the silver ones. Alvin's going to draw for turn. He's going to ink a library. Pay 4 ink. Play the Genie. Genie Weenie comes down. And then deal 3 damage into the mine using the crab. Yeah, you got to start taking out those locations ASAP. Yep, mine has already given Zach 3 lore. He's at 3 lore now. Alvin is developing tempo. He's developing stronger characters on the boards. Zach is going to start this turn. He's going to play a hard cast, sudden chill. Alvin being awesome, he has the lore counter on board. So Zach has 3. He's going to discard a library off the sudden chill. Ink a hypnotize from Zach on the right side and play a happy. Happy gets to move into the cove by paying an extra 2 lore. It deals 2 damage to the Geninerton. The Genie Weenie has 2 damage on it now. And if we move another knight to that Dwarf's Mind, you get to deal 2 more damage to another character, possibly the Genie again. Alvin's going to draw for turn. He has 4 ink. He's down on lore, but he has characters on the board that are stronger. Ooh, we're seeing some ramp. Here's the blurple. Here's the blue. We called it right. Sail lets him draw a card, ink twice this turn. So he isn't ink first time using a goat as his ink source. Ink a second goat. All right, so double goat gets inked. We see a genie come down. That's the second genie now, and these genies are gonna start adding some pressure. Gets the quest for 2 right there with that genie, and uses the crab to deal 3 damage to the mine, which is 6. Now that mine has no more willpower left, so it goes to the discard pile. 3 cards in Alvin's hand, which is very important information if you're a green steel discard player. Zach looking like he has 4 to 5 cards in hand right now. He is going to pay 2 ink for a Go-Go Tamago, which lets him pay 2 more ink to gain that 2 lore right there that's on the genie. And Happy has evasive on his turn only, so you can use the Happy with 2 strength to eliminate the genie, dealing the last 2 strength you need to complete that 4 willpower. I like the way Zach sequenced that too. He was able to get the value off Go-Go before clearing the genie, which is very important. An extra little burst of 2 lore, putting Zach at 5. But is it enough? Alvin still has 1 genie and a crab on board with full willpower, all of those cards. And Zach is just going to pass after that quick burst of lore. You can keep discarding cards from Alvin, but he's going to keep playing genies and rabbits to keep refilling his hand, which is what's crazy about the purple engine right now. But Alvin has 6 ink to use now because he got to ink twice. He pays 4 ink and plays a Scrooge McDuck, a power card, and pays 1 more ink for our Turnablock followers. Gets the quest for 3 this turn, puts him at 5. That genie putting in work. That Scrooge also putting in work because that can clear a lot of characters on the opposing board as a 5 strength, 5 willpower character. And he can quest for 2. Alvin's looking like he wants to start putting pressure on Zach every turn now that he's as high as 6 ink. Because he was able to slap 5 ink on the board right now. That's a lot. Zach is at a quest with Go-Go Tamago. And then he's going to pay the 4 ink that he has for Amuses. And then sing Storm Ray John with Prince John. This is going to let him deal 2 damage to a character. Turnablock Followers is the only character that will get banished off of that. And now Zach gets to bounce a character on the board with 2 strength to let him targets his Go-Go Tamago. Bounces it back to his hand. Go-Go very quick. Love to see it. Putting Zach at 6 lore. I thought he would bounce the genie on the other side of the board because of how much pressure it's adding, but it's looking like Go-Go is the card you want back in your hand. Inca Go-Go Tamago, play the dock. No ability there. So he just has 3 bodies on the board. Normally you want to discard cards from your hand to draw 2 off of dock, but it doesn't look like Zach's able to accomplish that right now. Alvin has 6 lore still. 4 lore gets used. He uses 4 ink to play a rabbit, draws a card off the Merlin rabbit. 2 ink is used to play a snake to bounce back the rabbit. Alvin really showing the power of Blurple here. Being able to recycle your rabbits, being able to ramp, just draw cards makes the Prince John discard engine pretty much irrelevant. And now he's going to use Crab to challenge the Prince John, use Genie and Scrooge to quest for 4, putting him at 9. Now he's ahead of Zach in lore and ahead of Zach in tempo and characters. Wow, Blurple looking pretty nice right now. Zach's going to pay 3 ink for a Prince John, pays another 3 ink for a second Prince John, and sings Sudden Chill. Using his dock. He has 2 Prince Johns on board, so he's going to be able to draw 2. And this Muse is going to trigger right now. Potentially bouncing back the opposing Genie. Alvin's going to discard a Hades because all of his characters have ward except for the dock, right? And Muses is still in the bag. I like the way Zach sequenced this. He put John, and Muses in the bag at the same time. Drew off the Johns first before deciding what he wants to bounce off Muses, because there is a world where you bounce back your own dock. Don't think that's likely to happen, but you probably want to bounce back the Genie here, so Alvin stops questing. Alvin does only have 2 cards in hand, so there is a world where Zach does not choose Genie because he does not want him to draw more cards. But I don't really see what other options you have here other than your own dock, which doesn't feel right because you lose a character, right? Alright, so Zach is going to ink a Pete Games and play a Diablo. Gets to look at the last 2 cards, 3 cards in Alvin's hand. Oh, because he bounces back Genie. So we know the Genie was there because that got bounced back with the Muses. And then Rabbit and Fox are in the hand. Muses is going to swing into the Crab, which sending Crab to the discard pile. Zach's going to pass turn there. We know Alvin has a Rabbit Fox in hand with a Genie. He has enough ink exactly to play Rabbit Fox and ink a turn. If he has a 1-cost character, he can play that too. Alvin's going to go ahead and use Snake to hit Muses. He's going to pay 5 ink for a Bell, accomplish a Mystic, remove the 2 damage from his Snake to move them onto the Diablo, banishing the Diablo before it can get any lore. And Scrooge McDuck is going to go in here for some damage. He's going to quest for 2, putting Alvin at 11. Now he has Bell, Scrooge, and Snake, which are 2 people that can quest for 2. And a big body that's kind of hard to out. The Snake is really tough. It's 3 willpower and 3 strength, so anything Zach decides to run into it will more than likely get banished. Zach needs to see something like Strength of a Raging Fire, followed by some draw cards. Alvin still doesn't have cards in his hand, so if there's like a Hypnotize or, oh, okay, so we are just going to see Diablo and Pluto enter the board at the same time. Zach has no cards in hand now. It's a little late for the Diablo, but we finally saw him hit the board. Zach is indeed playing Diablo in his deck. Okay, Zach has to pass there. It's Alvin's turn. It's looking like he has 7 ink to play with, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, 7 ink exactly. I think if you're Alvin here, you want to just try and quest for as much as possible. We are going to sail, though, and pay 2 ink to draw a card and possibly ink twice right now. There's the Genie, draw a card. And what's cool here is he can ink twice and still play a Fox, which means he can quest with like any of his characters and bounce that character back with the Fox, making it so that Zach cannot challenge the character he quested with, possibly the Snake, so you can just keep bouncing your bouncers and recycle your bouncers. Or Alvin just might ink once. He might just ink once. We're going to see Scrooge McDuck sing Friends on the other side to draw 2. Alvin is just filling up his hand. He is disrespecting Prince John. Ooh, we have a foil Diablo coming down, the 1-drop inkable. When it's banished, you draw a card. Alvin's in a quest for 1. Pass his turn there. Sets himself up for lethal, by the way, because if Zach does not eliminate any characters from Alvin's board, he can quest with all 5 characters and gain exactly 8 lore, which will put him at 20. We'll see what Zach does, though. And Zach draws an Ursula, Deceiver of All for turn. Does not have a way to slow down Alvin's board except for challenging, using his Pluto to make a value trade into the Snake. Puts Allen 1 lore away from lethal here. And Zach's going to quest for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Putting him at 12. He gets to draw a card off the Diablo, but is it enough? Allen did ink 2 goats earlier in the game. He did ink 2 goats early in the game, so questing for all the characters would put him at 19, but he cannot finish the game without a goat right here, so he does need to still set up a board. He needs to quest and set up a way for him to survive to get to 20. So maybe there is a trade you do here, maybe you clear the Pluto, possibly a Prince John, because Prince John quests for 2. 12 to 12. Even in lore. Pluto does have 1 strength, as Alvin just mentioned, because he has damage on him, making him a 1-5 instead of a 5-5 now. So he's going to decide to use Scrooge to swing into the Pluto, giving 1 damage to Scrooge. The Genie gets to clear the Diablo, which is an evasive character on the other side of the board that will let Zach draw a bunch of cards. Alvin's going to pay 4 ink here for another Genie, bro. This is like the 3rd Genie we've seen. Okay. Real Genie hours. Real Genie hours. Inca Fox, play a goat. Inca Fox and play the goat. Quest for 1 with the Diablo. Quest for 2. Quest for 2 with the bill. Puts Alan at 6. Puts Alvin at 16. If Zach would have drawn Go-Go, that would have been Zach's game. 2, 4, 5, 6 with a Go-Go would have been game here. I didn't even really think about the Go-Go until Zach actually mentioned it. I don't think there was too much of a way for you to play around Go-Go there unless you just... And Zach scoops it up. He draws a Strength and an Ursa. Deceiver Revolt does not have enough to clear the board. Love to see it. Wow. Wow, that was a lot of Genies. That was cool though, Zach. I like that the Doors Mine came out. We talked about that earlier. And
Doors Mine. I know.
Doors Mine Emerald Steel. Yep,
Oh,
yep.
Kevin knows I've been working on. Kevin knows I've been working on something like this for a minute now. He knows I've been trying to make Green Steel Mine work.
Yeah, I mean that was it was pretty close, man. I don't know if there was a way you could have played around Go-Go Tamago there, Alvin specifically, because you needed to clear some stuff and you would have left your board. You would have left yourself open.
The way you play around Go-Go is you. I mean, like he should have drawn first, even though
I should have drawn first.
Diablo
Exactly.
draw, even though it gives me an extra Diablo draw. If he draws the goat, he wins. So it's 100% better. And 2, you can make decisions. Like I think he had to trade onto that board, but he can make decisions like with Fox, right? Because he had like Fox in play, so he could have went like challenge, and then
bounce it back.
Bounce it back, and then leave Fox readied. Don't challenge again.
Yeah.
And then just kind of have an ability to gain that extra lore. Because man, Go-Go is crazy.
Go-Go's crazy, yeah.
Dude, we were just
Go-Go's
like,
crazy.
we need to learn to play around Go-Go. I wasn't even playing around Go-Go. If you top decked a Go-Go, I would have been cooked.
Or like storm into Go-Go. That's what's crazy is that like it was getting to a point where it like even Zach said, "Oh, I think I just lost this," and he just plays his hand out. But there was still a point in that very last turn, Zach, where you could have just drawn Go-Go, to win. And that's what's crazy about the game. It's crazy about these decks. Like, yeah, there is a little bit of luck involved. But Zach, you put yourself in those positions to get that lucky, and I think that's what it's really about. But thanks again so much, Alvin, for joining us today on the Quest with a Guest podcast. Everybody go check out Lore Gains on YouTube. And do you stream anywhere else, or is it just YouTube right now? Are you streaming on Twitch?
Just the YouTube for now.
Okay, yeah. Go.
Twitch is next, though. I need to figure out how to do double stream on Twitch.
Okay.
We'll be on Twitch soon.
I've been using Restream.io. It helps. It's pretty simple. It's friendly tip right there. But yeah, man, go check out Lore Gains' channel. Does a lot of live stream Pixelborn Connect content and tournaments at locals, which I like to see because sometimes like I get home from work from a long day, like living in the West Coast, and it's like 6-7 p.m. here, and nobody's streaming Lorcana anymore because everyone's asleep. But then I'll hop on and I see Lore Gains streaming on YouTube at his locals at like 9 p.m. and I'm like, heck yeah, man.
Late night locals, bro.
Yeah, bro, you're playing the tournaments.
Yeah,
no, but I'm like, yeah, man, but I'd be cooking. I'd be watching them. I'm like literally having my dinner or something, or like I'm like cooling off from the day, and I'm like, yeah, let's watch some gameplay before we go to sleep, dude. Guys, go check out those videos. He does meta content, gameplay videos. And if you got any fellow Illumineer couples out there, Lore Gains and Mrs. Lore Gains are awesome people to be around and to watch. So please go support their content. But yeah, man, Alvin, anything you want to say before we call it a day?
Thanks, guys. No, I just want to say big thanks to you guys so much for the content. I mean, you guys have been going hard since the beginning, so much appreciated. We all love your content and love your guys' energy and what you represent. You bring a lot of really positive energy to the Lorcana scene, and seeing those weekly videos just proves it every single time. So big shout out to everybody that's watching today, or to all the community. Appreciate you guys. Hope you had fun watching us play and just chat about different topics today.
Awesome, guys.
Man, I had a blast. I can't wait to do more like this, and thank you for questing with us, Alvin. It was a pleasure.
All right.
A pleasure. Likewise.
All right, guys, remember, if you like this content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you're a Lorcana Goon. Join the Lorcana Goons community Discord. Join the Lore Gains community. Go check out their channel. And be sure to stay tuned for more Lorcana Goons in the future. And we will see you Goons next time.